So you have this story. Adam and Eve are put into this beautiful setting, and they're given no boundaries except for one.
Mm-hmm.
You can do whatever you want. You can work the land. You can just do whatever you want. And they have communion directly with God. So their purpose, their truth is, or not their truth, the truth is they were supposed to be in communion with God. Genesis 3 says that God walks and talks with them in the cool of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And they only have one boundary. You can eat of any fruit you want, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for the day you eat of it you shall surely die. And they live with that rule. We don't know how long they live with that rule. It never bothered them. Mm-hmm. The serpent comes into the picture, and he says, did God really say? And then he misquotes God.
Yes.
And what do Adam and Eve do in response? They misquote God back. They say, oh no, God didn't say don't eat it. God said don't even touch it. Well, he never said that. They added to his command. Mm-hmm. In other words, they want to be the sovereign of the sovereign. Mm-hmm. They want autonomy. And that's when the serpent knows, I've got him now. And he says, God knows that you won't die.
Yeah.
He knows that you'll be like him. Mm-hmm. And the Bible specifically says, once they hear that they can be like God, that's when the fruit of the knowledge of the good and evil becomes desirous. Mm-hmm. Not before, right then. They wanted to be autonomous. So the seeds of the post-truth culture were planted in the very first garden. So the first post-truth people were the first people.
Yes.
We just now have a way to express it through social media and globalization and interconnectivity. So I think that's at the root of this whole sort of bizarre decade we've gone through.
Wow, you said so many interesting things there, and it ties together so many thoughts that I've had sort of floating around in my head for the past few years. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, something I notice, again, particularly in the West, mm-hmm. and these are really big conversations that, again, regardless of people's religious beliefs, where they are on the political spectrum mm-hmm. and so on, most people, almost everyone agrees that there is a rise in polarization mm-hmm. and confrontation and people not understanding each other very well.
Yeah.
Most people feel less free to speak. They feel more suppressed and more censored, more self-censoring than they did in previous decades. And also everyone, and then, so those are the things on the collective level, mm-hmm. but then also on the individual level, what else is a huge conversation? Mental health.
Yeah.
What's going on with the rise of depression, the rise of anxiety? Why are so many people on SSRIs and antidepressants? Why is the leading cause of death in many demographics, self-deletion, to use a YouTube-friendly term?
Yeah.
What is, what is going on here? And everyone wants to point to the simple things. Social media. It's mm-hmm. social media. It's smartphones.
Yeah.
It's this, it's that, male loneliness epidemic and so on. We hear all these terms, crashing in fertility rate, mm-hmm. dropping marriage rates, all of these things. Yeah. It's the economy. It's the economy and it's the tech. Those are the two kind of safe ones to go to mm-hmm. that everyone wants to go to, because I think people are perhaps afraid mm-hmm. Of talking on a deeper, more spiritual level. It mm-hmm. seems very obvious to me, mm-hmm. given my own worldview, mm-hmm. that there is a lot of spiritual warfare going on. And to even understand these problems, you can't just look at, sure, tech is a factor, of course. Mm-hmm. Staring at screens all day is not good for you.
Right.
Of course, there are economic factors, high inflation, mm-hmm. Rising in house prices, all these things. But I think at the core, these are not the sort of fundamental thing that is causing this collective and individual suicide that seems to be going on. I mean, at best, a lot of nations are stagnant. At mm-hmm. worst, a lot of people feel like big cities in particular mm-hmm. across the West, that things are getting worse. They're not mm-hmm. getting better. Yeah. Whether or not that is real, people have that feeling, people have that sense.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of it is downstream of this post-truth idea. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very deranging for people.
Yeah.
I think it's very confusing for people to walk around all day long and to be in different settings and to constantly have to be pretending mm-hmm. and self-censoring and acting. I mean, look, to take the most obvious example, and I feel like this has been, I must have talked about this subject on 100 different podcasts over the past 6 or 7 years at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one who brought it to the fore.
Yeah.
Right? But for the past decade, this obsession with transgenderism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.